What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Eaton, and welcome to episode 103 of Snakes and the Fat Man. The entire content of the following ad was written by ChatGPT. That's why I sound like such a fucking moron. Hey there, everyone. You're tuned in to Snakes and the Fat Man with your host, Chris. I've got something thrilling to share with you today. Have you ever felt a bit lost navigating your snake collection or breeding plans? Well, I've got the solution just for you. Enter Andre and Patrick from Chimera, experts in the field and the guys you wish you knew sooner. They offer top-notch consulting services tailor-made for the snake enthusiast we are. They will help you meticulously evaluate your collection, giving you an insider's look into optimizing your lineup. And that's not all. They also specialize in drafting breeding plans and long-term project planning that factor into both your current needs and future goals, saving you time and resources in the process. With their expertise, breeding becomes a piece of cake. Cake. But here's the clincher. Andre and Patrick can help develop a business model that's designed to work for you. It's a holistic approach for maximizing your investment and passion in snake keeping. Two words there that I hate. Holistic and passion. But they're giving me money, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. So don't wander in the dark. Get in touch with Andre and Patrick at Chimera and let the experts guide you. Remember, this is Snakes and the Fat Man, and we're all about taking the hiss out of handling your snakes. My snake hisses when I handle it. Go visit Patrick and Andre now at chimerareptile.com. Tune in next time for more exciting snake-centric chat. Catch you later, folks. All right, let's just see what's going on with Herps, everybody. They're going to be in Slidell on July 22nd and 23rd. They're going to be in Oklahoma July 29th and 30th. I believe that's Oklahoma City. They're going to be in Corpus Christi, Texas on August 12th and 13th. They're going to be in Bryan, also known as College Station, on August 19th and 20th. Then they're going to be in Conroe, Texas on September 9th and 10th. You know what to do. Go to herbshow.net. Tell Sean and Laurie what an awesome job they're doing. If you're in Bryan, go to that old Tipsy Trinket. And I'm pretty sure it's in Bryan. If you guys are close, you know where it is. Anyway, herbshow.net. Okay, so I'm trying to mention this more. Listen, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button on this dumb thing. It really helps. If you like this episode and it's made you laugh, throw a super chat. I don't even know if you could do super chats on pre-recorded video. Try it. I mean, who the hell knows? Also, follow me on Instagram if you can. And if you want to be part of the only Reptile Cool Guy Club, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/snakesandthefatman. Gonna leave a link to that right underneath here. I don't know if you could see me pointing, but yeah, right underneath this video, it's going to be the first link in the notes. All right, I don't have much to say this episode. I know that something just got released that could be pretty damaging to one of the reptile shipping companies, not Redline, but I'm waiting on that so I could research it a little more before I talk any shit. I also noticed something just came out about a well-known breeder ripping off people for thousands of dollars because they're dealing with some personal demons. But I want to research that too because I don't want to talk any shit. I guess there is a lot of shit to talk about. I just don't want to do it until I know all the information because I don't want to be a chancleta. Thanks to Brian Rivera for that word. That's Spanish for flip flop. I really don't want to be a hypocritical flip flopper. That's what I'm trying to do now. I don't want to tell you that Ship Your Reptiles is the best shipping company on the planet when 3 months ago I was telling you the same thing about Redline. I don't want to tell you that the best reptile show in the country is the Reptile Super Show when 3 months ago I was telling you that the best reptile show in the country is NARBC. I don't want to be a chancleta because I've realized that I already was a chancleta with this Discord shit. But hey, self-realization is a bitch, huh? But somehow I don't think that me starting a Discord is the same thing. So it's an inexact parallel, but it's a parallel nonetheless. And I defend the Discord thing because you guys wanted a Snakes and the Fat Man Discord, not me. Okay. However, the Snakes and the Fat Man Discord will be available this week. See? Chancleta. I don't know if it's really me being a chancleta, but I'm a people pleaser, man. Listen, don't be a repta bitch. Don't be a repta cunt. Be a repta bro. That's gender neutral. So shut the fuck up. Repta Chip sets new standards for reptile cocoa substrate. It's made from the highest quality coconuts anywhere in the world. Repta Chip allows hobbyists to provide their reptiles with the necessary humidity and thermoregulation required to allow their animals to thrive. Get on board the Repta train right now at reptachip.com. Redline Shipping is continuing its push to be number one in the reptile shipping space by summer of 2023. It's already summer, so you know what that means. I'm pretty sure they're already there. If not, and I'm wrong, they're probably going to get there within the next 2 weeks or so. Redline Shipping is the gold standard when shipping reptiles, amphibians, aquatics, and inverts. Have you been using one of the other shipping companies? That's okay. But call Redline now and see if they could beat those shipping rates that you're currently getting so they could earn your business. I know of somebody who just this past week did that, and Redline crushed the rates that they were getting at the other company. Use the code ROBIN60 to get 60% off your first 2 shipments with Redline. Then, after you're done using that coupon, use the code FATMAN5 to get an additional $5 off Redline's already discounted normal rates. Hit up redlineshipping.com now because you're better off red. So what I want to do here, and I think I'm going to start doing this every episode, is I'd like to highlight one person who is an exceptional influence in the reptile hobby. And the first guy I want to highlight is Mike Stefani. Mike has been a friend of mine and the show for years now, and he's quite possibly the best monitor guy in the hobby, period. He has the charm of an old school cement worker, and if you ever saw him at a show, this dude has the heart of an artist with the way he builds his cages for his monitors. His monitor knowledge and socialization techniques are literally nothing short of amazing. And it literally feels like he's your best friend by the end of the first conversation with him. This is a guy that you could trust buying from, trust his 30 years of experience keeping and breeding all types of monitors, and trust any advice that he gives you. I don't want to suck the guy's dick too much, but you all could use a little Mike Stefani over your face, neck, and chest. Go follow him now at Mike's_monitors on Instagram. Hey, this guy was in his prime in World War II. He didn't know not to use the underscore on his Instagram account. Say goodbye to spreadsheets. say hello to Clutch. Hey, Clutch, what's up? This killer new cloud-based software lets you manage your ball python collection in ways that you never thought possible. And since Canova is the Apple of ball pythons, you know that this thing will just work right out the box. Get on over to Clutch, that's CLTCH.io, to discover the power of your collection.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fat Man proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova has become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 Minutes of Lame to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here. Let's hear your ideas. Let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lame into 20 years of lame, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So bring it.
15 Minutes of Lame!
What's up, guys? Look who I have here. I have Danny and Taylor Gunder from Chakra Scales. What's up, guys?
What's going on, Chris? How we doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We're so honored to be on here. Thank you so much.
You guys are bringing the energy, huh? Like you're very excited. I love it.
Yes, very excited. This is a goal of mine for August, so I wanted to get it, and I did it before August. So let's go.
Well, let's address the elephant in the room right off the bat, because a lot of
Let's
people
go.
say, if you ask to be on 15 Minutes of Lame, Chris always says no, because I think that's like desperate, right?
I got some hate.
You went out and you did a video. You did, you know, like you did all this shit. Like you didn't just be like, hey, put me on. You know, I deserve to be on. You actually worked for it. So if people do that, then I want to have you on. And I think that you did a video or a reel like a year ago that just said, now I know what Chris means when he says you have no idea how long 2 years is.
Yeah.
And I was like, exactly. All right, the guy listens. All right. So, all right, you know how this works. You're going to get 2 extra minutes because your wife is fucking stupid hot. So fucking that, so you get 17 minutes. And that's just how we roll because I'm a pig. By the way, I didn't realize how hot your wife was until you mentioned it, and I looked it up, and I saw that wine-colored dress that she was in.
Oh yeah,
and boobs, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she'll just come on and not Taylor, you know. But it's all right. We'll take the both of you. All right, so we're gonna put 17 minutes on the clock now. Let's just start off with the name. Like it's a very kind of I'm gonna go on a walkabout Steve Jobs kind of thing. Where did the name come from?
Yeah, so a while back I started kind of a chicken page where I ran it and I called it Chakra Chickens, and still active today. And I got pretty big from there. I wanted the rainbow eggs, the colored eggs. So kind of with that whole vibe with the Zen, the yoga, positivity, and then we just kind of continued it on, and we really wanted to start breeding snakes. And then so I was like, well, what's a great name to just kind of continue the legend? And Chakra Scales was kind of the birth of that. So
man, positivity. You were on the wrong show for that. And you guys are in Minnesota, right?
That's correct.
Yep. Minnesota, cold, frozen tundra.
Yeah. I was gonna say, isn't Kaufman from Minnesota?
Yeah, Dave Kaufman. Actually, we got one of our clown pieds is from Dave Kaufman, so that was really cool.
Okay, he doesn't like me. Okay. So why should people buy from you? You know, I mean, if you got, you know, mega powers like Dave Kaufman in the state, why would they buy from you?
Yeah. Also, we got JSA, Joe and Sheena. They're also been great
JSA.
mentors.
Yeah, JSA are great people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're both super passionate about our animals. You know, with your work,
Yep, I'm a vet tech, so we try
Oh,
to do,
cool.
producing the highest quality critters and taking the best care we can. We're very passionate about being specific to the clown pie project. So
everything around in our collection is clown pie specific. So we kind of want to be known for that clown pie gene and combo. So if you ever look at anything in that combo, we want to be kind of known for that. So
for sure.
So you guys are avoiding the whole desert ghost thing. I bet you were happy about that about a month ago, right?
yeah, we actually do have we have a hypo desert ghost, and we're hopefully working into the clown pie project. So
The hypo. Oh,
yeah,
We have a lot of hypo.
a lot of hypo.
a lot of hypo.
Lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're still going to let you finish up. 14 minutes, right? Talking about hypo. Jesus Christ.
No, we're just super passionate about high quality animals, and we want to be very personal, relatable, and kind of be that connection with the reels and all the Instagram and stuff like that. So,
what got you into the ball pythons? What like did you right off the bat say, "Hey, this is a way that we can make money and still have an extra hobby," or did you just buy a ball python from Petco? 10 years ago.
Actually, I kind of grew up in 4-H FFA raising animals, and when I saw my first pied, gosh, I think they were like 15,000. So I'm like, I'll never own one, but it's so beautiful. I had like pictures printed and things, and then eventually I checked just for fun, and pieds had come down a lot, so I was able to actually get a pair 1.1 pastel pieds
8 years ago.
And I was always intending to pair them, but I was nervous about the safety of doing so, and it took his chicken hatching and inspiration for us to actually get confident enough to go forward with that, and it grew pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well, 8 years ago they were still a little expensive. I mean, they had to be $1,000 each, right?
About $625, $528.
Okay.
I got the pair for $1,100. So
yeah, doesn't it irritate the piss out of you that you look at them now and they're like $250 for base? But like I spent $7,000 on my first albino.
Sure.
And I just see him now for $80, and I'm just like, God, I hate this. I hate this whole hobby.
Presents opportunities for other people to enjoy their beauty, though, and get them into the hobby, which is kind of what we're all hoping for anyhow.
Well, are you guys aiming for high end or pet quality? Like which?
Definitely more on that high end scale. We're looking at our first year, hopefully producing a triple visual. We got 2 breedings where they're a triple het to a visual triple het from Justin, actually. So some good ones that we're hoping for. We're going out with a bang.
So now like you started with the chickens.
Yep.
Was that like a living? Like chicken
No,
breeding?
No, I just kind of do it for fun, and I got kind of a good following from that, and I produce a lot of chicks. I do it kind of more just like a fun side gig. And,
okay.
Hopefully from between like snakes, rodents, chicks, social media, and stuff like that, I can potentially do this as a full-time job.
Right. And what do you do? Do you have a day job?
I work at a farm store where I do all the feed and stuff like that. So it's just only right.
That's funny as hell because you look like you'd be like a Brooklyn hipster. Like
Right?
I could drop you off in Brooklyn tomorrow and you'd be fine. You'd have a 2-bedroom apartment, by the river in a day. So,
Yep. People don't think it. People don't expect it from me. I raise chickens, quails, guineas, peacocks. I got pied peacocks.
Wait. Did you just say you raised chickens, peacocks, gays, and what?
Guineas.
Guineas. Oh, okay. All right. I was like, what? I was like, I never raised a gay before. How's that?
The guinea hens from Africa.
Okay. All right. Are you guys? Have you guys had any clutches yet?
Yeah, we just had our first clutch. It was pastel pied to an orange stream, was a leopard pied. So we kind of had all visual pieds. That was really fun for our first
nice.
clutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And are you going to be show people, or are you going to be I'm happy with Morph Market, Herp Social, and all this other shit people?
No, I think a little bit of combination of both. We have a little local show that they do like 4 times a year. That'll be fun. And yeah, I mean, definitely kind of selling our off product, byproduct, whatnot. So yeah.
Right. Okay. And have you sold any from your first clutch yet or no?
Not yet.
We have a list though, of people who are interested.
They got 2 meals in them now, so we're just waiting a little bit longer.
Right. You want to wait it out. Yeah. And being in Minnesota, you're probably going to have to take like half the year off, right? Because doesn't it get to be like 20 degrees in
negative
20.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can't get nothing shipped in here during January to March. You're basically just landlocked.
You're going to have to wait it out. What do you guys think about what's going on with Morph Market right now?
I mean, people are still selling on there. I mean, it's definitely a little bit, that's a lot, but we're, just here for the ride.
Trying to keep with the positive vibes when we can.
Yeah. Well, you got to keep it positive with that guy, because if you talk shit, you get thrown right the fuck off.
Exactly.
It's I hear you.
More eyes, I guess.
Have you joined on any of the newer platforms?
No, I have not.
Oh, really? Okay. Herp Social is actually really cool.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool.
And there's a couple other like Reptipost and stuff like that there. They seem to be, like a decent alternative. I mean, they don't have the numbers, of course, but it's but from what I hear, people are selling them. So you haven't done your first show yet?
Not yet.
Nope, we've gone to Tinley. We actually went to Tinley for our honeymoon. We got married last year, so we decided a Tinley honeymoon was only right for us.
I saw pictures of your wedding, and I'm like, what kind of psychos pull their snakes out and take
we had to
like full-blown wedding photos, right? With the snakes.
Yep. It was in the photographer's list of pictures we had to get.
That's awesome. Now, do you have are you on a farm? Are you on like a property with?
Yeah, we have a 6-acre farm. We got horses, we got 9 goats and a sheep, and too many chickens to count.
Yeah.
Jesus, you got a lot of animals that people have sex with there. All right.
Yeah, a lot of breeding here.
I mean, down south, not maybe by where you guys are.
Right.
And do the animals make you money, or is it just like a side hobby?
No, I mean, definitely between the social media and all the different sales and stuff, it's definitely in the positive for sure. Besides the snakes,
the chickens pay for themselves. The horses, they're expensive lawn.
I've had 6 of them, and they're the gift that keeps on taking. All right.
My first horse just turned 34, so she's just riding out her retirement, just living life.
Yeah, no, we had Clydesdales, and they're just this is the worst horse to have. You can't even just get on it and ride it, And in LA, you got to pay like $1,000 a month to board them. Yeah. And I'm like, why are we just throwing money out the window? Let's just buy a house somewhere where we could keep them, Right. And that's eventually what we did. But you've been to the bigger shows.
Yep, Tinley was our biggest show that we went to. Yep.
Okay. And do you plan on vending Tinley? I mean, you're obviously gonna have to be on the list, unless
that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
We know a couple people. I mean, we'll maybe try to work some deals out and see if we could throw a couple snakes on a table with a friend or something. So.
Well, that's really like the best thing to do, right? Like to just get somebody to share a table with, because that'll at least get you, to the stage, And now, what's the 5-year plan with Chakra Scales?
Yeah, the 5-year plan, just make some beautiful hypo clown pies, triple visual.
Live right out of me. I might beep out that word whenever you say it, because now you're like going out of your way to say it. Okay,
that's my favorite gene. I mean, it's hard not to.
Hypo is your favorite gene?
Yeah, for sure.
Not mine.
Holy shit. Okay. A lot of dudes would be like stranger or puzzle or fucking.
Nope. Hypo till the day I die.
I almost want you to turn the camera just on Danny now. Okay. So let's just talk some sponsors here. You guys are out in the middle of nowhere, so you guys probably don't have access to a lot of this stuff, but do you use Reptichip, number one?
Yes, yeah, we definitely have. We've used them lots of times, and we have a few friends, and we get them from the shows mostly.
Okay. So
Yep.
JT does not give you a fuck you. Okay. I saw your logo. It definitely doesn't look like it was done by Stewart Design.
I
Okay.
drew it.
All right.
No,
Probably not
she
finished
designed
yet,
it.
But in all fairness, you guys are just starting.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go out and spend $10,000 on a logo. But
Exactly.
Blake Stewart still gives you a fuck you, all right? So do you have any sea serpents racks in your house?
Yeah, we got this one right here.
So.
We got little eight V18 slots. So we got some our hatchlings in there right now.
Beautiful. Chris Nettles does not give you a fuck you. That's great. Have you probably haven't shipped anything out yet?
No, we have not shipped.
When you do ship, are you gonna use red line shipping?
Red line. We're team red for sure.
That's what I want to hear. Better
Yes.
off red.
Better
Robin
off red.
Markland does not give you a fuck you. Now, I'm pretty sure Steven and Ashley over at Focus Cube are going to give you a fuck you. So let's just get that out of the way.
But we do have a crested gecko pair that we would love to get a Focus Cube one day and have it in our living room for sure.
Dude, the 2x2s are just quick and easy to put in the corner somewhere. I'm sure Steven and Ashley will potentially appreciate that. But for now, they're standing there giving you a fuck you. Are you members of USARC? You're wearing the shirt, so you have to be.
Yes, always representing. Yep, definitely.
But good. Phil Goss does not give you a fuck you. Now, you said you have 2 geckos.
Yep.
Did you buy them from Frank at Geeky Gecko Creations?
Unfortunately, did not.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
I know.
All right. And have you ever gone to a Herps Expo?
I have not.
Probably not, right?
Probably not. No.
Yeah, you guys are probably like 18 hours away from the nearest, Herp show. So Sean Gray still gives you a fuck you. But you guys kill it on the reels. Like seriously, like everybody go follow these guys because they kill it they are Leviathan quality, Ophidiarium quality. Reels. So definitely, definitely follow these guys and check them out.
Thank you.
You still have 2 minutes left. So what do you guys want to fucking pump? Like, what do you guys want to push and pimp out? Why do you get people to buy some chickens from you?
Right.
You could use it to do that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone go follow my page, Chakra Chickens, Chakra Scales. I run a podcast. It's called the Uncooped Podcast. I just interview content creators, farm-based content creators every week on Friday. So it's my passion. I love marketing, and people like Leviathan, like that, are really inspirations for like the whole marketing scene and content creation wise.
I didn't realize how big the farm content creators were.
Oh yeah.
Until I joined like the Big Tits Farming page, and now that's all I see.
Oh no, I might need to join that page.
Right, dude, it's so good. It's so good. All right, George.
I send that link.
Yeah, I will definitely send it to you. It's on TikTok. Do you guys do TikTok also?
Oh yeah. I TikTok is one of my passions. I got about 42,000 followers on my chicken page. So I do work with different brand deals and stuff like that. So it's been really fun and really awesome to provide for the farm just through making fun videos.
Right. Well, the thing with you is that you always have content available. Yep. Right. I mean, because you have 150 animals in the house. You could just film them, like, do you do like 10 reels a month or 20 reels a month ahead of time and just drop them?
I do them every day. I just do them right on the spot.
Oh, no kidding. Really?
I don't do anything pre-recorded. I just, what I think about that day is going out.
I fucking hate you young people. I cannot figure out. I don't know how to do a story in Instagram or a reel. Like, I gotta hope that other people do a reel for me and tag me in it. And that's the only way I do it. I don't even I post something to Facebook and then cut and paste it, and then just do it on Instagram, right? So you guys are crushing it. If I maybe learn a little, I fucking wouldn't have to do that.
Thank you.
So your Chakra Scales on everything. How does the reptile page compare to the chicken page?
I mean, the community has been really, supportive on the snake page. I just met so many great people. Shout out Evan and Lace and Misty. And
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because your 17 minutes is up. Okay, but you have a hot wife. Who do you want to shout out? We'll give you
Evan, Unlikely Morphs, and Lace Balls, Misty, Everything's Better Orange. Those are the homies right there. So just been a great
Also
community. JSA has been our
Kyle at Royal Ambassador Reptile.
Yep.
Yeah, well, JSA are great people, right? So
yeah,
we live like 30 minutes from them, so we just got to visit their facility, and I was just like a kid in a candy store. So
right. No, that's awesome. I didn't even ask you during the sponsors. Do you use Clutch?
We're on the beta, but I haven't put all the animals in, unfortunately.
Right. No, that's okay. Nobody does. Okay. But and you bought from Justin, right? Like you said.
Yep. We got 4 snakes, and we got actually a pairing Justin to Justin. So we're basically doing the hard work for him.
Oh, you're making a super Justin. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in the green room again and just hang out for 2 minutes, and we'll bullshit a little bit. All right.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Guys, thanks again.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fat Man proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Listen, guys, Stewart Design doesn't just create logos, they build brands. What do I mean by this? Well, your brand has both a verbal and visual side. Think of this as your brand message and brand image. Your brand message is what initially draws clients to you and continually generates new business. After that, the quality of your product and service keeps them coming back and retains them. Without effective messaging, you're only going to be connecting with a small percentage of the clients you could be connecting with. Your brand message helps you clearly define who you are, how are you different from your competitors, what value you offer to your clients, and why potential clients should choose you over others. For this reason, Stewart Design always starts branding projects by developing your brand's message first. Creating a logo without understanding why and how it needs to look is only going to hold your company back and should be considered fucking malpractice. Stewart Design starts by clarifying your goals, audience, and industry. Then they form your messaging. After that, they strategically determine what colors, styles, and fonts make the most sense to use. And then finally, how the logo needs to look and function. You see, the visual identity of a company should be a natural result of proper strategy. Because the question really shouldn't be, do I like this? It should be, will this work? Stewart Design figures out what will actually work and provides you with a true investment to grow your business. When done right, it should attract the right people and it should reflect your business properly. It should make your company more memorable and it should build trust and credibility with your clients. On the other hand, if it's done poorly, it could do the exact opposite. It could make you look amateur and can actually deter your business. Don't settle for a fucking idiot that simply offers you a cheap logo. Build your brand the right way. Bring out your best so you could get it right from the start and finally move out of your mother's fucking basement, crush it at Tinley, Pomona, or Arlington, and build a life for yourself doing what you love. Contact Stewart Design today. You could reach them at stewartdesignbrands.com. Again, that's stewartdesignbrands.com. Jesus, okay. I just realized that I have to shave this Bin Laden beard. Fucking sorry, I look like a terrorist. Listen, you all know how I feel about kids and children in general. Don't like them, don't want to be around them, don't want to talk to them. But for some reason, this guy I got on this episode actually likes them. Dr. Joe actually figured out a way to use his collection to teach kids in his science class about genetics. Oh, I probably should have pointed out that he's a teacher. Anyway, I thought his story was fucking interesting as hell, and I figured I'd bring him on to tell you guys about it, because most of you fucking people like kids too. Here's my one-on-one with Joe Ferrara of Kingdom Pythons. What's up, everybody? Look who I have here. I have Dr. Joe Ferrara, Kingdom Pythons. What's up, brother?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? Thanks for getting me on this.
Yeah, definitely, no problem. There's a reason I got you on, all right?
My Mets shirt, right?
Well, no, it's definitely not that. Tell me a little bit about Kingdom Pythons, man, because it's kind of like a weird situation that you have going on.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me how this started.
All right.
First of all, tell me the situation, because as everybody could see, you're basically running it from a classroom.
Yeah. I'm basically in my classroom. Started out with 3 snakes just to get some snakes in the room. Never intended on being getting into breeding. And so now I basically have the support of the school. They let me do everything here. I pretty much put all the funds and stuff to purchase snakes or bedding, that kind of thing, the enclosures, all that stuff comes out of my pocket.
Okay.
But they support me. I mean, they're great. They love what I'm doing here with kids. I've started herpetology camps and then classes, and so materials I need for those things they purchase for me as well. So that's the current situation right now. I'm rolling with like 63 snakes in here.
Okay.
Mostly all of them, I think, except 3 of them are ball pythons.
Yeah, but what do you teach? Like what is the reason that you got hired?
Well, because I'm amazing. I'm an amazing teacher.
Yeah,
No.
I know. Yeah. All right.
And I'm a Mets fan. No. So before I got back into the classroom, I was working for the University of Texas at Dallas, and I ran an institute that trained teachers. And we went around the state, actually went around the country, starting STEM schools. If you heard of STEM,
Yeah. Yep.
Right, science, technology, engineering, math. So we, did a lot of things like that. Did teacher training, and the school that I'm working at now, my sons are attending, and so.
Oh my God, they must hate that. Really?
No, they love it.
No, they don't. No, they don't. My mother taught at my grammar school.
Yeah, but you're different.
I did not like that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's the second time one of my kids had to have me in their school. My oldest daughter, in 7th grade, I was her assistant principal, so that was not good. So it was funny, but I had an opportunity. So being in education and at that level of training teachers and writing curriculum, I was kind of working with the school anyway, not for pay, but just supporting and giving them. Like a kind of a consultant like that would just give them kind of ideas and guidance and kind of bounce things off of, stuff like that. And so when COVID hit, right before COVID hit, actually COVID hadn't hit yet, I was traveling a lot. I was basically going all over the place. I was leaving on Sunday night, coming back Friday night. And so I was home, seeing my kids, family for 3 days. And I was kind of getting sick of it. And an opportunity came up. One of the teachers here asked me, "Hey, there's a teacher retiring. Would you want to get in and come work in the science department?" And I was like, "Let me think about it." And it didn't take me long, because when I started kind of, pros and cons in it, and I just, I've got a strong faith as well. And so I was praying about it. And I made the jump, and it was a killer pay cut and all that. And, but but it was more important for me. It was a great opportunity. And then boom, COVID hit, shut down everything. All the consulting that I would have been doing,
Right.
just got trashed. And so that's how I got back into teaching. I was in the Air Force and taught after when I got out of the Air Force. I taught for a little bit, and then did some of my postgraduate work and stuff. And
So you're teaching science. The subject is science.
yeah, all kinds of science. I mainly teach college level AP Environmental Science, college level biology, anatomy and physiology, forensic science, herpetology, biotech, lots of different things. And so
it would be weird. It would be weird if you were like a history teacher and you were like, but I gotta have 65 snakes in the room too. But like,
yeah,
that would be a little weird. They'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna back that, you know?
Yeah. No, they didn't know. I mean, I didn't know I was bringing snakes into this gig. I mean, it happened. The snake thing happened during COVID, actually.
Right. So,
I mean, as far as the breeding part.
Well, did you start off with just those 3 that you bought? And that's what kind of built all of this in the last 2 or 3 years?
Well, we started out with 3. Basically, I took my sons they had already had their first reptiles, a red-footed tortoise and a bearded dragon. So those were at the house. And then when I got back in the classroom, I said, I gotta have something else in there. I want to have some snakes. So we went to the show and we bought a pastel male, pinstripe female. Well, we thought it was a female. It's a male. And then a male piebald, which when I first got into snakes, when I first started teaching, piebalds were like 20 grand. And when I got this for so I got this for $350, and it was great. So I had the 3 snakes, came in the classroom. That first semester, kids were loving it. I mean, they just were loving it. And I teach mainly juniors and seniors. And they just were loving it. I mean, they would come in the classroom, they'd sit on the floor, they'd hold a snake and do homework. When they were freaking out, they'd come here and hold a snake and do homework and freak out and cry, whatever. So it was really good. And then COVID hit. And what happened was I had a hybrid setup. And so I had some kids that were here, not that many, maybe 5 or 6. And then the rest of them were home. Right. And so here we were, I was teaching online and I had kids here. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want the kids who were actually physically present to have their laptops up and seeing me teach when I could just speak to them straight out. So what I did was I developed this whole separate piece for my kids online. And the kids here, we started just doing stuff, that we couldn't do online. So we took those snakes. I taught them genetics of the snakes. Good thing we had the recessive there, and started talking about pairing and looking at breeders and all this kind of stuff, and just kind of going through the genetics part of all this. And they were like, "This is awesome." So I came up with a project where they kind of developed their own pairings based on different genetics. And then I decided I'm going to send an email to Justin with all their pairings and just ask if he would give them some feedback. And he was like, yeah, it was great. And he said, so for every one of them, he typed out, what he thought, what next steps might be, those kinds of things. And when those kids got that feedback, they were like, we've got to do this. This is great. And one of the things he put in his feedback was you really need a normal het pied so that when you breed for the first time, you got a chance of getting some good eye candy.
Right.
And so, long story short, through his Discord, I was on his Patreon for a while, and through his Discord, that conversation came up. People were asking me about the classroom stuff. It always comes up. And next thing I know I had a guy emailing me and saying, hey, give me your address, give me your nearest FedEx hub. I'm going to send you this 4 foot long, 3,000 gram female normal het pied. And that's what started it. I mean, that really made it real.
Right.
For us.
Did you get any pieds in that first clutch?
I did. She gave us 10 eggs. I mean, it worked like it's supposed to work.
Right.
Like, like everything worked like it was supposed to work. And by that time we had 3 females, actually 5, that could go for us. I purchased, wherever I could find a breeder female, I just picked one up just for the kids' sake. And we kind of had some ideas what we wanted to do. So we had got a het clown, and so we had a het to het pairing that we could do, and things like that. And it just we got 10 eggs. And what was great about that clutch was, when you're doing the punnet squares and stuff, you're looking probability 50% here, 50% there. But we got 6 normal het pieds and 4 visuals. And so that kind of then led to the discussion of, well, this is just probability, and we could have got all of them being pied and all of them being, hets. And so, and those are the kinds of discussions. Like today, I'm doing a herpetology camp, and I did a biotech camp in the morning. And so, we're able to bring those animals in and kind of, look at them as an example of maybe some of the technology that's used to figure out, shed testing, which we're doing in my class too. Okay. So, so it's been cool.
So you're actually doing shed testing similar to rare genetics?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or is it, what's the other doctor, Slidell?
So actually I worked with Hannah, Dr. Seidel. Yeah. When I heard her first on, I think it was Brian's show, when she was on first, and then I saw her again on maybe Proper Royals, I think it was, Adam, and then and so I contacted her and I said, hey, here's what I'm doing, and I would love to see if we could generate a protocol that what's happening in your lab, if we can kind of do that in my classroom. Because again, my AP biology kids they're taking college bio.
Right.
And so she was loving it. She was like, yeah, we could potentially write an article for it, but specifically for teachers on how to do this. And I was like, yeah, this is great. So she got me resources to where because I'm a teacher, I can get, DNA primers and stuff for free, and all the different kind of reagents needed for pretty much donation. So I was able to do it very, very cheap. So yeah, we started out with lavender albino because we had one of our clutches that was a het to het lav albino, and so we were able to prove out some of those for being 100% hets.
Okay,
which is pretty cool.
So do you need any kind of special equipment to do that?
Well, in my classroom, no, because in my classroom, we were already doing DNA extractions. We were already doing gel electrophoresis. We were doing PCR. We were doing restriction enzyme testing, transformation. We were inserting the gene from a jellyfish into E. coli bacteria so it would glow. So stuff like that, we were doing it. So I had all the equipment. And so some of the things that were different were just, some of the skills that kids needed a lot more work with the skills, like pipetting and stuff like that. But for me, no. For me, I had all the equipment.
Okay. And I probably know the answer to this because you're a teacher and my mother was a teacher. You're probably paying for everything, right? You don't get a different budget than the other science teachers there, to pay for these snakes that you have.
Right. So everything snake related is mine.
Okay.
And I'm good with that because I don't want to be connected any way to the school with this. Especially if I can tell you some of the projects that we are working on, that the kids kind of develop the projects. But I have a great budget. I mean, they let me do what I wanted. This place is amazing, actually. That was one of the kind of conditions. It wasn't a condition like you got to let me do whatever I want, but I just said, I'm not going to be your traditional teacher. I'm not going to be that person. And I made sure that was clear to them. And the head of school was just like, well, just what do you need to be able to do that? And that's the best thing you can say to me. Well, and so all the equipment and stuff they've purchased.
Right.
That stuff they've purchased.
All the equipment they purchased, like the racks and everything.
Oh no, but for doing the genetic testing and all that
Gotcha.
kind of stuff,
Okay.
that's all considered curriculum, and I do that with kids for grades and stuff. And so, yeah, so no, everything that you see behind me from these are our breeder females right now, and then as we move over, whatever it is, this way, to the hatchlings right there.
Okay.
All sea serpent. No, there's most of them are sea serpent. I've got 2 reptile basic or VE, whatever, vivarium electronics.
Yep. No, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
You got VE thermostats. I can see there.
Yep, I do. I have a couple of herp stats too, but mostly all are the VE. I like them. They stack nicely. They don't slide around there. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I'm still rocking the herp stats here. I got a herp stat 4 and a herp stat 2. But I miss the old Helix ones. Like I really just miss the single function, one probe Helix one. But now you said that the kids kind of pick the projects, right?
Yeah.
Now, within reason, that's okay, right? Well, like, what if one kid just comes up to you and is like, "Oh, I really want to see what this stranger thing will do." Are you going to go out and spend $5 or $8 grand on a stranger?
No. So, but they can if they want to, and I'll be happy to keep it for them. No, so basically, the whole project thing starts. So this is only the second year we're doing this. Like this is our second breeding year.
Okay.
So really, the project started when the idea of the project started is when that first group of seniors that were here during COVID, and they wanted to get into breeding. And I told them, you're not going to be here to see breeding. You can't. There's nothing you're going to do.
Right.
We can get some snakes and to pair them together, but that's it. And so they were like, so we don't care. And I said, all right. So then if you don't care, think of a project within reasonableness, within reason where, based on what we had. Now at that point, we had some other things. People gave us snakes. I mean, Chris, it was crazy. The support that people were giving us, Ray, he got us an ultrasound machine. I mean, it just was crazy stuff that people were donating for us. Next thing you know, people were just saying, "Oh, you got this, you got that, you want this," and I took snakes just because I took them. But a lot of them were useless, but some of them were not.
Right.
And so of course they wanted, and the conditions I put on them were that you've got to use the genetics that we currently have in the collection.
Okay.
And so, and with the idea of that each year I might buy a snake to kind of upgrade genetics to help with the project. So our first project was, of course, dreamsicles. That's what they wanted, dreamsicles, because I have a poster of them, and that was a big mistake. So, but we did have a mystic het lav, and we had a what else did we have? Oh, and we had a lav het pied. So it was going to take some time. We had a male pied as well. So we had those kind of mixes there that we can start playing. And so I don't really care about if it comes to fruition. I just wanted, in order for me to even consider it, you got to draw this tree for me and make sure all the steps are there with the possibilities and stuff. So they go into the calculators and that kind of stuff, and they do that. Right. So, but it was their first project, and it doesn't mean that they are doing the project. I started calling it a legacy project. So that senior group left that project for the freshmen. And so now I have freshmen that'll moving through, because, that'll give them 3 years or so to try to come to get that, or at least work towards that project.
Right.
And so in our second year, because of certain purchases, we had a family member that donated some money. I was able to pick up a blackhead female, lavender het pied, and then I have another male pied het lav, So that helped us. I tried to put conditions on it that we weren't going to do anything that was head to head, because that was just going to take too long.
Right.
And so we just had a few more people like give us stuff and donate stuff. And then somebody gave us a dreamsicle.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody gave us a dreamsicle.
Right.
And an amazing person who's been a great mentor for us and has helped us out so much. But he gave us a dreamsicle, which really then now, even though it's a juvenile, it's actually a hatchling. It's still a hatchling. And so, but this year we have our best chances. We have actually 2 chances for dreamsicle, and and the best one is that blackhead lavender het pied to the pied het lav. That's our best chance. That's
so now when the kids come, did you basically crack the code because you got 80 kids that have to clean the bins, take the shit out, do everything, and you just basically enjoy the snakes?
I don't know about that, but so I have a snake club too. It's called the Ophiology Club.
Okay.
Which is the study of snakes. And so we meet during lunch. And I've got a few kids that are designated cleaners. Those kids had opportunity. So I had this idea when we had our first clutch and we had those 6 normal het pies. I was like, what am I gonna do with these snakes?
Right.
And so I figured, maybe kids would want to adopt one. And so I kind of pitched it to them. I said, listen, and if you guys, and they were falling in love with these snakes anyway. They were being held as soon as they came out of the air. And so I said, would you adopt a snake if there were conditions for that adoption? Like, the tests that you had to pass, like on husbandry and, feeding and, those, will your mom let you have one? Those kinds of tests. Right. And they were like, yeah. And so that's what I did. So that is actually was the key to get kids in the room. And now here they are cleaning because they're learning how to clean. They're monitoring humidity. So we had setups where I'm a science teacher. So, what actually does hold the humidity? What bedding really holds the humidity the longest? Which one kind of prevents or maybe inhibits the growth of bacteria the longest? So we did that. We had tests where we done, and of course, I'm not going to publish any of that info.
Right.
But we did those kinds of things so that they can learn the importance of humidity. And if you have something in your bins that's molding, even paper, that's a problem, because these snakes are going to die from respiratory infections pretty much most of the time. And so we need to keep a clean house. So those kinds of things we're working in. So out of the 6 snakes that were het pieds, 5 of them have been adopted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they get adopted, and then some of the others, like the pieds, I wasn't going to adopt those, but kids come to the herpetology camp in the summer. I do a week-long herpetology camp, and they get to interact with the snakes a lot, and then of course everybody wants a snake. Right. So so they, in order to you can buy one, but I'd rather you if you're going to buy one from us, you can come and interact with that snake and hold it, and then kind of see which one you relate to the most, or like the most, or feel the most comfortable around. Who does that, right? Who gets that chance? And so I just actually sold one today. A kid that was in a camp, and then he's returned 2 times to be a helper for the camp. Right. And then so he picked his snake, and he's home with it right now.
But here's the thing with something like that. Aren't you worried about the biosecurity people getting on you for letting everybody handle these things and all that, or is it just you don't care? You're just like, I'm teaching kids, I'm doing what needs to be done here.
We are very, my background before I actually went into education was, immunology, transplant immunology, actually. And so That's what I was initially going for my doctorate for. So I believe in, my classroom is really a classroom / lab. And we do labs in here as well as in our bio lab. And so, safety and biosafety is very, very important. As far as NIDO and all that kind of stuff, I mean, we don't need to talk about that. I'm not going to worry about that kind of stuff to the point where it stops me from providing opportunities for kids to engage with reptiles.
Right.
They're going to know that you can't, that you have to be aware of these things. Like, so when we, for example, we raise money to go to NARBC, and the kids go and they hold snakes and they touch snakes. But before they come back in this room, we come back to the class, we come back to the school, they get in their cars and they leave. They can't come in the room.
Right.
I don't let them. I don't come in the room. I make sure, even if I'm buying bags of cocoa or something like that, which I don't use cocoa, but when I use it, for example, because I buy it for experiments and stuff, I use shredded paper now because it's free. But even me, when I buy that stuff, we have a Russell feed store here. I mean, they sell all kinds of stuff. They sell reptiles and lizards, all kinds of stuff. But I put it in another room.
Right.
I'm mindful of that, and I break it down in another room, and then, some of it I put under UV. It depends on where it came from. But I went to a show this past weekend, and I could see the mites in the in the enclosures. So I didn't buy anything from them. And I didn't come back to the classroom either. So they have to know that that's aware that, and some people, it's reality, right? These things are reality for people because they have lived it.
Right.
But I'm not going to use that as an example to not have snakes in my classroom. So,
right. Well, here's the other thing. The higher ups at the school must have a tremendous amount of trust in you because you need to have access more than your average English teacher has access to the classroom, right?
Yeah, I have the alarm code. I come up here every day.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'm here after school. This is my summer, but I'm teaching camps. But even last week when I wasn't teaching anything, I was up here, and I've got stuff in the incubator. I've got girls ready to drop eggs and stuff. But I do it, and it's just how I am. I just dive into everything, and before I did this, I discussed it with the administration, and at that point, I was honest with them. Listen, I don't know the scope of this. I'm watching Chris Harwood videos, so I'm learning the whole thing, but it's going to be good for kids. That's all I promised them. I said, what I do know is it's going to be good for kids. And when I said that, they were like, well, then go do it.
Right.
So even the security teams we have here, they know when I'm here, they open up the door certain times that they'll leave and say, hey, make sure you set the alarm when you're gone, And so, yeah, they have a lot of trust in me, and I appreciate that.
Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. How fucking thrilled am I to have Focus Cubed Habitats joining the Snakes and the Fat Man family. They are literally the best display cages that I've ever owned. I was a fan of this husband and wife team of builders from when they were putting out these amazing pieces of fucking art from their garage. Stephen and Ashley have been keeping reptiles for years, and as experienced keepers, they understand how important your animals are in your life. Focus Cubed Habitats provide security and comfort for your animals while maintaining these insane, badass designs that everyone can appreciate. They give you the opportunity to make their home part of your home. You want options? They've got options. Every Focus Cubed Habitat is custom made to your specs, and you could choose from hundreds of options on their website. Too many options? Ashley and Steven have a huge selection of blog-style articles and complete accessory fact pages on their website to help educate consumers about add-ons that will best fit their individual needs. Listen, at the end of the day, these fucking cages are showpieces. Every cage that Focus builds will be the centerpiece of your reptile room. Hell, they could be the centerpiece of your fucking living room. If you have reptiles that you want to display, look no further than Focus Cubed Habitats. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and even fucking TikTok. Or just go old school and go right to FocusCubedHabitats.com and tell them that the Fat Man told you to drop them a line. It doesn't matter what reptile you're feeding. The Reptile Deli has it all. I'm beyond excited to have my old friend Brian Kazmarchak bringing the Reptile Deli to the strip mall that is Snakes and the Fat Man. I've watched Brian grow this business from a fucking storage pod to a 25,000 square foot facility in a state where they make it almost impossible for a small business to succeed, let alone grow. Reptile Deli has been producing some of the industry's best feeder rodents for almost 15 years. Their rodents are grown under the best conditions and regularly tested for quality to be sure they're in optimal health before they ship them right to your door. Reptile Deli also has a roach issue. They've spent years raising dubia roaches and have put insane efforts into R&D so that your pet reptiles get the very best. They offer cup dubia roaches, bulk dubia roaches, and wholesale dubia roaches in a variety of sizes. Are you one of those bioactive people? The deli offers simply the best isopods and springtails in the business, with cutting-edge isopod and springtail technology that brings in unbelievable shelf life with biostable microhabitat culture cups. They have an incredible selection of isopods for sale, from rare species all the way down to the common roly-polies, man. Reptile Deli has grown into a cutting-edge feed manufacturer and are distributors of the most advanced reptile products. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of over 800 retail locations across North America that are selling their products. Check them out now at reptiledeli.com. Well, is it a large school? Like, how big is your school?
It's we've got about 1,300 kids K-12.
Okay.
So in the high school, we've got about 400 kids, 500 kids.
Okay.
Which is small. So it's small.
Right. Okay.
There's a bunch of buildings. But
well, I mean, I like what you're doing, but aren't you terrified that you're just making more ball python breeders? Well, like you're just putting out more ball python breeders, and
no,
we don't need them.
Huh? So like I'm cutting, like I'm making more ball python breeders, or what?
Yeah, you're making more ball python. That's exactly what you're doing. You're adding to the problem.
You think I am?
You're adding to the 50,000 snakes on Morph Market.
Saturation.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about that either. No. So listen, since I've been doing this, probably this is my 5th year here. So since I've been doing this, I would say I've had 600 kids. Out of that 600, 2 of them have decided to become veterinarians and get into educational kind of endeavors. One of them is interested in breeding, and that's just, a lot of people are interested in breeding, but no, they don't go and do it. And then I would say 5 or 6, well, no, it'll be about 7 kids have either adopted a snake or purchased it. They've become snake owners. But
Well,
100% of those kids, of all the kids I've had, have a new understanding for ball pythons.
Well, if that's the case, and only one actually becomes a ball python breeder, maybe we should just start doing this shit in all schools, okay?
Yeah.
So that only one of them becomes a breeder. Do you have like you're running a company, but you're also teaching, right?
Well, it's mainly teaching. I just started. I think I'm moving into the business aspect of it.
Okay, so it's eventually going to become a company. Does the school have any problem with like you selling the offspring of snakes that you use to teach?
Well, we don't need to talk about that. No, you can edit. No, I'm joking. No. So here's the deal. When I say business, it's the entrepreneurship. So it's just like, so what we have in this school, we have a class where the kids actually get a certain lump sum of money that they get to do something with. They design different products depending on who they're working with in the industry. And then they get to then use this money to support that business. This is similar. I mean, we have a morph market. You can tell it's like the kids, they basically run it. It only has like 5 snakes on it.
Right.
It's just teaching them about, this industry, and that, you can really make an industry out of anything, but there are some common things that you need to know. You can't just jump into it. The same thing, with the snake. They see me learning all this stuff, and look what I just learned. I would show them. I'd come in and say, check this out. This is totally different than what this guy said.
Right.
And so, I don't do any of that as far as selling stuff. I don't do any of that in the school. I mean, as far as like, I'm not publicizing it, but we have logos. The kids create logos. We have, I have, when we first started, this is, let's see if I have one here. We started out with, I don't have it here, but we have, we've got several. We have like stuff like this that we're kind of one of the first ones that the kids did. They did all this on Canva.
Right.
And then we ended up with, the one that everybody loves, which is this one. That's the main one. And so again, the ideas and stuff and what it takes to market and all that stuff is being talked about. Now, how do I sell snakes? It's word of mouth. If a kid comes in here and says, hey, I'd love to buy one of these snakes, it's not because I said they're for sale.
Right. Well, the thing is that I didn't mean for it to sound like a dig. I actually think it's cool because you could be teaching the science of everything and teaching about entrepreneurship and the whole business aspect of it too. That would be the more, because basically how many kids are going to become scientists versus how many people are going to go into business for themselves or,
right, exactly.
Do something like that. So the skills translate all around.
For sure.
So I actually think it would be a good thing, to sell it. And the fact that, like, when you sell a snake, let's say you sell a snake on Morph Market, you put all that money into it anyway, right? So
right, and that's where they wouldn't have an issue with it,
right?
Right. I mean, I have to somehow buy rats,
right?
I have to do that stuff, and
right.
I know teachers put out a lot of their own money when teaching. It's normal.
I know.
And they do it because they want to do it, and I want to do this. Now, would I have all these snakes if I wasn't doing it in the classroom? Probably not.
Right. Okay.
Probably not. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be doing it.
So you wouldn't be a snake breeder at home then?
No, I don't think I would.
Okay.
I mean, although, with some of the things that we're pursuing now, I love working with the snakes. I love being here, but it's like when I'm here by myself, I love that. It's kind of like therapy, but it doesn't do anything when there's not kids there. You know, when the kids are there, that's me, you know, on you know, basically on top, just on top of it all. I just love it. You know, but now, like I said earlier, you know, the business part is starting to say, you know, how I'm asking myself these questions. How can I make this sustainable? Right. What we're doing now probably isn't sustainable. But at the same time, I don't want the school to fully fund something.
Right.
So that's where I'm thinking, all right, well, you know, with these new projects that we're working, you know, doing shows would be good. That's a good thing for kids to see.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They can be part of that. The kids make jewelry from all the shed snake skins that we have. They make jewelry, and we sell it. And so that's how we make some funds as well. So we are going to do our first show in October, in Fort Worth, North Richmond Hills, which is near Fort Worth, and it's the Lone Star Reptile Expo, which is I guess the longest running reptile show in Texas.
Right. Yeah, I was going to also say I would recommend talking to Sean too, because they're big from Herps. They're big on education at every show too. So he would definitely be a good guy to talk to.
Who is this?
Sean Gray from the Herps Exotic Reptile and Pet Shows.
Yeah, but I don't know if they come. I don't know if they come through Fort Worth.
Oh yeah, they do.
They do.
They do like close to Dallas shows.
Okay, I gotta look that.
I think, yeah, I know. Well, they definitely do Conroe. The problem with Texas is that it's so goddamn big, and there's so many goddamn towns that you don't know what's where. like I didn't know Pearland was fucking close to Houston.
Houston, yeah.
You know, I didn't know that Bryan was also College Station.
Yeah, well,
it's like that. You know, I mean, the place is just so big that I'm reading off all these dates every episode, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that is. You know, not in like relation to anything else. You know,
yeah, it is a big place.
But yeah, they you know, they're very big on education, and I just think it's actually a good thing that you got going there, because you could teach them young how to do things that are going to be necessary regardless of what they do. You know, like that's the cool part about it. And you know, everybody knows I hate kids. I mean, kids are just the worst, right? But you're teaching kids that are what, like 11 through 15?
Well, no, I'm teaching they're more like 16, 17.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now I have this year coming up, I'm going to be teaching freshmen. But what's crazy, Chris, is we're a K-12 school.
Right.
And teachers will come up to my classroom for field trips. So I have kids that are second, third, 2 and 3 year olds. I had, you know, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, that when they do Punnett Squares in fourth grade, they're coming up to my classroom, and I'm using the snakes to kind of quiz them on genetics so they can, you know, so I'm, you know, I'm working with a lot of different kids, and it's like, my wife's like, well, maybe we should do, you know, birthday parties and stuff like that. And I don't know about that, but it is good. And you're right. I mean, the kids there, I think I scare more of them away from either having a snake or breeding it, because they see what it takes.
Right.
One of the students I had who adopted a snake, you know, he's vegan. My son, you know, you got to make sure there's going to be times where, you know, he was okay with the frozen thawed, but he couldn't do it live. And I said, there's times, even though almost all my snakes are frozen thawed fed, there are times when I have to give them alive.
Right.
And you have to be able to do that. And so we got him over that hump, and he, you know, he's fine with it, but a lot of them don't like that, you know. So that's really the goal of the project here. The goal is to kind of just get an understanding, and when we're done, we kind of step back a little bit and say, how is that different with puppies or kittens, or all the stuff that we find running around in the neighborhood that no one knows whose they are, and they're getting squashed. That kind of stuff. Just appreciation for husbandry, knowing what it takes to get in there. Those people at PetSmart want to sell an animal.
Right.
And you got to know what questions to ask and how to get the right answers. And same thing for breeders. You got to know what questions to ask and how to get the right answers.
Yeah, and also there's the fact that, like, I think that idea of doing a show, for the kids would be killer, because that gets to kind of show them quickly that being a snake breeder is not just about buying snakes.
That's right.
Being a snake breeder is about marketing and, handling your stuff with buying banners and buying display cages. And just because you think you made $1,000 really means that you only made probably 45.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
Once you pay for everything else. I think that would be like a bigger help. Give them the opportunity to do that. Because some of the kids might come back and just go, F this. I don't want to have to do this every weekend of my life.
Well, that's how they were with podcasts. The first NARBC we went to, they had an assignment, and I preface it because I bought the VIP, and I talked to breeders and stuff and said, hey, you might have kids coming around with this. I made little badges for them, and just gotta give them some grace, because they're gonna be trying to ask questions and doing some interviews and stuff. And so again, most of the people were great. Some of the people, like Joe from JSA, I think it is. He was amazing with them. He gave them interviews, and then they interviewed a US ARC. And then they had to come back and edit and stuff. And they were like, forget this. We're not doing podcasts.
This is the most miserable thing. Yeah. Just send those kids my way. Just send those kids my way. I'll let them know how sad, pathetic, and lonely this is. Okay. So,
exactly.
But so now, what's the plan with this? Like, is the plan with this to take this into your home and do a snake breeding business from your home? Because where you are, you're probably limited. You don't want to have a bunch of $8,000 snakes around a bunch of 15-year-old kids that who knows what might happen with it.
Exactly.
Are you interested in doing any of that, like, at home? Or
so these are conversations. Yeah, these are conversations that I've been having with my wife and stuff. I've got to build her. I think she's an artist. She teaches as well in college, but she's an artist. And so I think as soon as I can get her a studio built, I can do probably anything I want.
Right. So, okay.
But no, we've been thinking about this, and yeah, like I have a Batman, $3,000 snake when I bought it, or I guess it was 3,000. And then I've got a couple of more that are up there, and but I also have, in this room I have cameras, I have everything where it's pretty safe. No one's going to come in and take stuff. But yeah, just holding them and those kinds of things. And I limit their interaction with those snakes.
Okay.
So I think I learned this from Ozzy. He basically said, what you should try to do is upgrade your genetics every year.
Right.
And so that's basically what I'm trying to do, and clean out the rest of the stuff. So that's what's going on at the show. We're going to try to sell as much as the fluff that we have, and then just kind of keep those others. I want to really distill it down for the classroom to snakes that can, projects that can be turned over, that are traditionally good for pets,
right.
and then take those to market, kind of
right.
like, okay. And so kind of have that piece for the classroom, and then have your occasional wow snake, depending on the legacy project. And then the rest of those, go home. I just need but I can't do that. I want to buy some bigger racks, I mean, I love what I have now. I mean, I wouldn't trade those, but I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about racks?
I love like sea serpents, of course, because they're a sponsor. Um, and I don't even have many animals here right now, and I still have sea serpent racks and incubators here, just sitting there empty,
Yeah.
and I'll never get rid of them. But I do understand the need for like an ARS, rack, especially when you have 50 babies at a time. It's really just it number one. I think the metal racks look cooler. I would not get hybrid racks though. Where you get a pallet and then you get a box with 4,500 screws in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, do your thing. And like I'll pay the $500 extra to get a fully assembled, metal rack that I could just put together. But I don't think a metal rack would hurt you. I think it would actually help you. But you got to figure that's a $4,500 expense right there.
Exactly.
And I would kind of almost save the metal racks for when you do this at home.
Exactly. And that's that's basically what I was going to say. I mean, I would, probably have those delivered to the house and then kind of work that in. I don't want to have 500 babies. I don't want to have 100 babies.
Right.
And so,
yeah, but even if you have 6 pregnant females right now, you're minimally going to get 36 to 50 new eggs.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't see 36 to 50 empty spots
No,
back there.
you see them right there, I should say. I just had to buy another rack to move over the hatchlings I had that were big,
right,
and put them in a new rack. So yeah, that's the conundrum there. That's the part that you don't think about. At least I didn't think about it. I have some people who say they might be able to give me a rack and that kind of stuff, but I'm not like that. I mean, I want to be able to to show the need for it, right? Or to have a need, I guess.
Right.
And I don't think I've planned enough yet to consider that. And so the projects now that, the kids are coming up with are amazing, but I'm coming up with stuff too now, which is the part that's getting exciting and a little scary. So, but yeah, I'm just going to kind of thin out as much as I can, get rid of the stuff that's useless. Like I have 11 females that are probably going to be gone. I'm looking at them right now because we're done with it. That there's no need to breed them anymore, and that'll make somebody else happy. So
do you have anything else in there besides ball pythons?
Yeah. We have a red-footed tortoise, we have a bearded dragon, we have a gray-banded king snake, a Mexican black king snake, we have a hognose, and we have a Texas blind snake.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
what
we have.
It'd be nice if you get some ackies in there or some kind of lizard to just show the difference between the snake breeding and the lizard breeding,
Yeah.
So
we have an opportunity to potentially get some red-eyed crocodile skinks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
what, from Earl from Lone Star?
Yeah, he might be with a breeding pair. And so that would be great. But again, it's I've got to watch the balance. I got to really watch that balance and go from there. But at the house, that's a different story. Right. It's a different story. So just got to consider the impact and all that. I'm learning. Like now, I've got a snake that's probably going to lay eggs while I'm gone. I'm taking kids to Denver next week, and that's had to happen to people before. Yeah, right. Yeah. So what do you do? So I'm getting all this information from people, and I thought about, well, I'll just put the vermiculite in the tub, and hopefully that'll be human enough to for the 5 days I'm going to be gone to be okay for the eggs, and the temps will be still in upper 80s. So,
Well, I mean that's a strange situation for somebody in your position, because most of us could just be like, "Hey, I'll get my boy Gary here to come. I'll give him the key to my house, and he
Right.
could just come and check him." You probably can't do that being at a school,
exactly.
Maybe teach one of the security guys what needs to get done.
They don't. And that's another great thing about having snakes in the classroom. Most people just walk by and they kind of just look in. No
Right.
one ever kind of comes into the room.
Yeah, I remember I was in the hospital and was having a bunch of clutches, and my father would go by the shop, and I would ask him to pull up certain cages and tubs and see. And one of the snakes had eggs while I was in the hospital, and I was like, "This is what I'm going to need you to do." And my father was just like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen." He goes, "You better call your buddy and get him over here." And have him take the eggs. The other thing you could do is show the kids maternal incubation if it's not an expensive snake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if it's just a pinstripe, and you're going to have a bunch of disposable snakes anyway that you're going to wholesale out.
Actually, it's that blackhead lavender het pied female.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wouldn't maternally incubate that one.
No.
All right.
No, but the good thing is they in my classroom they keep the temperatures at about 77.
Right.
That's another thing they do for me. And I asked him while I was gone, if I could have it bumped up to about 86.
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm thinking, if I put that vermiculite in there, like I would in an egg box, and maybe with a little bit more water in it, and then she ends up laying, maybe, or even sphagnum moss. I've seen egg boxes with just sphagnum moss in it.
Yeah.
So,
I would throw some Reptichip in there, and in that particular cage, just to boost up the humidity for the 5 days that you're gone.
Yeah.
And if she lays the eggs, it'll be humid enough, especially at 86 ambient.
Right.
You throw in some moist Reptichip or whatever. It's it's something that could be done, and it's something that if she lays eggs on day 1 that you go away, day 6 is not too late to take her off them and put them in the incubator.
Right.
So I don't think it's really a big problem. Now, if you had 10 of them laying at that time, I would be like, get your wife to come in and teach her how to uncoil a snake from eggs.
Yeah. I have a student who could do it, and I just have to see if she'd be able to get in. If they'd let her, come in and get a key, and
right.
But we'll see. But
yeah.
Anyway, those are the kind of issues. I'm sure everybody has some kind of issues like that, but it can't be the first time. So that's
right.
why I try to reach out and kind of get that info.
Well, and what do you do? I mean, you're spending your summer basically teaching kids and taking them places. What do you do for fun other than this? Like what's a hobby?
Well, hobby. The snakes have, they've been a pretty big hobby. Pretty much, learning games with my sons. That's been a fun thing to do. They're getting me into like Roblox things and
right.
Those kind of fun games. And then we like to we've gotten into fishing, and so I do that. But it's really me just being able to be there for them was what I love to do, because I wasn't able to do that for the longest time. Now this is my 5th year here at the school, and it's been it's been a game changer. So taking them to archery practice or taking them to tennis and going to meets and all that stuff I couldn't do before.
Right.
And so really that's been, and they actually they help with the snakes as well. They're helping me with these camps. So just extra hands to help, with kids that are holding snakes for the first time, or filling water jugs, or just all kinds of stuff. So
Right.
We're pretty close as a family as far as everything we do. We're not doing. We don't have like the things that my wife just does on her own.
Right.
No girls' night outs and boys' nights outs and things like that. We had kids later on in life. I have 2 sets of kids. So this second time around has been pretty good.
So how many kids do you have total?
5.
Oh, you're part of the problem. Jesus. 5, right?
Yeah, 5.
That is excessive.
Well, I was Catholic.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, that happens. Yeah. All right. So, Joe, how can people get? Or do you want me to call you doctor?
No, you call me Joe.
Don't be a pretentious fucking bitch.
I am not.
All right.
I don't even know. You know who came up with Dr. Joe?
Holly.
I think Holly did.
Yeah. That sounds like a Holly thing.
It was Holly.
Yeah. So are you not a doctor? Am I false advertising calling you Dr. Joe on this thing?
No, well, bend over and say, ah. No, I'm joking.
Look, the last doctor that did that to me got taken out to dinner. Okay, right?
No, I have my doctorate in education leadership.
Okay, all right. So you are a doctor.
I am.
Yeah. But yeah, isn't it funny how we're like, how'd you come up with that? And we're both like Holly. like,
yeah,
that's pretty
sure it was.
So now that you're part of this snake community for all intents and purposes, what's the best and worst thing about it?
The best thing and the worst thing are the same thing.
It's the people, right? It is. It really is, man.
Yeah. I love them and I laugh. I mean, I laugh, and I know I had to learn who to watch, but I forget who told me that. They actually gave me a list of here's who you should be watching. But I don't have enough time to watch everybody anyway.
Right, of course not. Yeah.
So I know where to go to get all the dirt, like,
right.
So like Wednesday morning with Brian is, good and ugly, I just check in with that every once in a while. I used to be regular, really, really regular on that show.
Right.
I mean, as far as listening. And, but it's just, times get crazy with teaching and stuff. But no, there are some amazing people. And I would say more so, even the people that you're like, what are you doing? Why do you have a podcast? But even they are open, empathetic, even the people who come across like you do it this way or you shouldn't do it at all. Mm-hmm. Even those type of people they do have your best interest. And I had one person who in a chat, I forgot what it was about, but one person who in a chat kind of just raked me over the coals, like I was hurting the industry because what I was doing to kids. And so, I just, and he just went off, and I said, well, I hope I'm here for you. If you need to feel good about what you just said, I'm here for you.
Right.
I don't care. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion. And I think that's the biggest issue. We probably could do a better job of that in the community, kind of just understanding where people are coming from. People hate that I'm using shredded paper. Right, well, then send me money or send me boxes of Reptichip.
Yeah. Well, those are the same people that, have no idea that for years and years, aspen was being used for ball pythons, Mm-hmm. So the problem, it's the 80-20 rule, right? It's like 80% are shit, 20% are awesome. The problem with those 20% that are awesome is that they're so cool that they make you want to stay in it. Yeah. They make up for the 80% of degenerates that think that their opinion matters, and they've been doing this for a month and a half, So that's what I find the issue is. I mean, because every one of my friends are snake people. Well, like I don't have non-reptile people, but 80% of my friends are assholes, right? So it's really like a microcosm, right? So it's like, not anybody watching this. Anybody watching this right now is awesome, and you guys are great. Thanks for showing up. Um,
No, but
but
that's the case, and those people that are the 20, you know, at least with the kids, because that's who I show. You know, whenever I'm going to show them something,
right,
I try to focus on that stuff, and and they want to do for those. They want to follow, they want to like, they want to comment. You know, and the same thing with me. I root for Ray. You know, Ray played a big role. He was part of our first live that we did. Brian was on.
Ray's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you root for those people and you try to support, and that's a good thing. And really it's the reality of the world, right? That's really how it is. It's really, even in this building, there are teachers who, they don't want this to happen.
Well, I believe it. Yeah.
They don't want snakes in the building.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that. They're fine. Then don't come down on this side of the building. But that's just how it is. And I don't begrudge them their opinion or their thoughts or even their fears.
Right.
But you're allowed to have that. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. You're a lot more of a pacifist than I am. Now, I'm not going to make reference to the last time the word pacifist was used in the last month. Because you got the kids, rolling around. But, I think guys like Justin, like Ozzy, like Garrick DeMeyer are always somewhere that you could send the kids. People like me, Brian, like you don't want to send the kids this way. But it's a good thing that you're doing, I think, man. And I even though I hate children, I could appreciate the fact that what you're doing is a good thing, and that's why I wanted to have you on. So,
well, thank you.
How could people get in touch with you?
Well, we have Instagram, so that's Kingdom Pythons with some numbers after it. I don't remember.
I'll put that on the bottom.
Yeah. And then we do have a YouTube channel, which the focus this year for our social media, the kids, we have like 262 or something like that subscribers. So, they, in their goals last year, they wanted to try to get it to 500 this year. So they'll be putting some more stuff up there. And so YouTube, it's Kingdom Pythons also. And it might be, I think if you just put in Kingdom Pythons, it comes up.
Right.
So yeah, that's how they can get reached in touch with me. I'm on Morph Market. We do have a store, a Kingdom Python store.
Okay.
And but again, there's stuff that needs to be updated on there. There's only like 6 animals up there. I'll probably get somebody to put some others up there soon. But the best way to contact me is just to message me through Instagram.
Right.
And yeah, that'll probably be the best way. And I'm pretty responsive. And if anybody needs anything, or I personally want to give back to the community as much as I can as well. And so if you're interested in genetic testing and just doing it for yourself, I had a guy, Mike, who I worked with this past weekend, and I went through the whole thing. And I didn't know I'm terrible with social media.
Right.
And so I was using StreamYard, and I didn't know that it was going live. And so there were these long pauses where, the PCR machine was running and stuff like that. And so, but I'm going to edit that up and make it into some stuff like that. And if you want protocols that I have that I use in the classroom and equipment, I'll share all the stuff that I do in the classroom. And if you want to know more, we can get on a one-on-one and stuff like that. So I'm here for you for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Fucking Dr. Joe Ferrara, everybody. Follow him on Kingdom Pythons everywhere. Well, not everywhere. Instagram and YouTube. You don't have a TikTok, do you?
No.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Brother, thank you so much for taking the time, man.
I appreciate you. And thank you for asking me to be on. I'm glad I wasn't on the lame, whatever, the 15 minutes of lame.
Oh, yeah, those people suck. Yeah. All right. Geeky Geckos is Arizona's largest gecko breeder, and they're helping usher the fat man into the leopard gecko space. They have a really popular YouTube channel for education, care, and breeding and all that other fun shit. And they have an active community on Instagram, Facebook, and Discord over at Geeky Gecko Creations. Oh, since they're in Arizona and it's fucking 98 degrees there in the winter, they could ship year round. Plus, if you buy from them, they basically have free consultations about your collection for life. That's forever. Forever and ever. Call or text Frank today at 480-299-7657 with any questions or inquiries that you have. That's a fucking man that stands by his shit, that he's willing to give out his fucking cell number to all of you degenerates. There's another Snakes and the Fat Man special with Geeky Gecko Creations. It's hard to fucking say. There's a special 10% discount on all applicable animals using code SATFM10 at checkout. Go check out Frank and his awesome fucking animals at geekygeckocreations.com. Guys, thanks for sticking around, and a special thanks to Dr. Joe, who took time out of his busy schedule of imparting his knowledge on the next generation of ball python degenerates. If you like what you saw here today, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/snakesandthefatman, where you could become a member of the only Reptile Cool Guy Club, and you'll get immediate access to the new Snakes and the Fat Man Discord. You'll have access to exclusive videos, exclusive discounts, blah, blah, blah. The main thing, though, is like all of these motherfuckers right here, you'll be part of the Reptile Cool Guy Club. These are some of the nicest, coolest, knowledgeable, non-toxic fucks in the hobby. Again, become a member of the Patreon now at patreon.com/snakesandthefatman. We're going to do a pop-up open Zoom call for reptile keepers tomorrow night. That's Sunday. I believe that's the 16th. Stop by if you want to laugh a little bit. If you don't have the link, DM me for the link. It's invite only. So you could get invited by just DMing me. We'll be skipping the next Fat Man Live because I'll be out of town. I'll be driving home from Retic Fest. But we will return on, August 6th with more gorgeous ladies of reptile keeping. Oh, I'm going to be a guest on Celtic Balls, podcasting under the influence. Pwee. It's a fun acronym to say. That's going to be Monday, July 17th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And I think I'll be actually drinking on that podcast. I mean, it's not my show. I mean, why the fuck not? Fucking fat man getting a little drunk. I only do this 2 or 3 times a year, so check it out. I guarantee it'll be, at the very minimum, a 7 on the fun scale. Also, at the beginning of next week, a new Where Are They Now Season 2 episode is going to drop. And also that same week, a new No More Balls is going to drop. So if you can, stop by and watch those two also. And finally, don't forget, every Tuesday night, the Tuesday Takeover, 8 p.m. Eastern, Bronx Down Under, with myself, Luke Stratford, and Brian Rivera. It's literally a show about nothing that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I'm going to do that sexy hat thing now, and I'll see you next time. So, you ready? You ready? Take it easy, guys. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 sea serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and the Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're sea serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to seaserpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks, and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.